mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find ritual extirpation, undesirable natives of another world, the rest must be destroyed. Is it possible that our dark past watch them and pray?
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, people who are already having a shitty year, and anybody who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I am Tasker, your host, and we have also, as usual, Nick.
Under the sea. Under the sea.
Yeah. You heard it right, folks. We're doing another water episode.
Yeah, man. Under the sea. Sue me, Disney. What are you going to do? You don't have enough money to sue me, buddy. I have the best lawyers in town.
See, it's at this point in the show I'm almost scared if we find success, because then we might actually get sued for this.
But if it's my rendition, does that am I safe if I sing a song, or is that technically like?
I think you're safe, yeah, because I think we've gone over this before. This is just my paranoia coming out to get. Obviously, it's post New Year's. I'm in a very I'm pretty sure I've lost at least an ounce of gray matter, and it'll probably be pretty obvious through this one.
Yes. I decided after New Year's I am not drinking anymore. I am a sober Sally, and I'm never ever touching a drop of alcohol again.
So what happened on New Year's to spark that?
Well, it's what happened on the entire New Year's vacation. I went on a bender that would make Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas look like a trip to Disneyland.
Yeah, you did sort of loosen the belt a little bit for December, huh? Didn't feel good?
I loosened it, and then I tightened it around my neck, fapped away, drinking whiskey, and almost died. So,
well, that's a pretty clear wake-up call if I ever heard one.
Yeah, guys, but hey, looking really forward to this episode, something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and we're going under the sea.
Yep, exactly. But before we do that, we got to count our lucky stars and see what they have to say with the horoscope.
Okay, you go first this time, because mine's scary. You go first this time.
Okay, scary, huh? Interesting. So, your emotions may feel restricted today, Scorpio. You may feel bad about something you did in the past. Somehow your heart isn't able to let it go. Work to overcome this by realizing that this is only a briefly passing trend, and that you are feeling much worse about the situation than necessary. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Oh, I can think of something already.
Oh man, there's multiple things I'm sure this could fit into, but it's like it just feels like a real personal dig today.
Hey man, you might need it. And we talked about some stuff off air that yeah. Don't worry too much about it is what it's saying. It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
And that's some good advice too, because it's like, yeah, obviously we all have shit, especially the older you get, the more that shit piles up and being like, fuck, I could have been blank, but there's no use dwelling on it, because all that's going to do is just impede your present.
Yeah, man. And who cares if you have AIDS now? It's fine.
Okay. A little bit different, because that affects your present very much.
Oh,
but I'm talking about, more emotional things, maybe embarrassing things I might have done in high school, which fortunately is not coming to the top of my head, and I'm planning on keeping it that way.
Oh, I can list off some embarrassing, you know what I was like in high school. It was not a good time for anybody except for me.
It was tragically embarrassing, but you know what? We would not be who we are imagine, okay, here's my theory. If we didn't get that humiliation out then when it was acceptable, that doesn't mean we got a free pass and we'll never do anything embarrassing in our life again. You are simply delaying the inevitable. So if you didn't get the embarrassing shit out in high school, you're going to be embarrassing in your career and in college and etc.
That's a good point. Could you imagine me being a 20-something-year-old vampire kid now?
I mean, I can't imagine it, but life would probably not be going as well for you as it is.
No, I'd probably have AIDS by now. So let's move on.
It's very possible. Blood, it does carry the disease. But anyways, star ratings for me: sex 3 out of 5, hustle 3 out of 5, vibe 3 out of 5, success 3 out of 5. I am average all across the board today. And you know what? I'm okay with it. Like I said, with all the poisonous alcohol that I'm working out of my system, I feel like I'm rocking a heavy neutral.
Hey, you know what? It's better than having a bunch of low stars. I would take 3 across the board any day.
Yeah, it's sometimes a happy medium is it's a good easy point.
Yeah, man. The stars aren't going to bend you over quite yet.
Yeah, not yet is the keywords.
All right, so let's take a look at this here horoscope. Your freedom-loving nature may seem a bit dampened today, Cancer, but don't let it get you down. Things might not be lining up perfectly, but that's no reason to get frustrated. Perhaps the situation was just not meant to be. Look for a higher, more practical solution. You have all the information you need to make an intelligent decision.
Well, so what's scary about that?
Now, I will give you some insight, and then you will see the connection here. Okay, so recently I've been really into internet security. Okay, I've been really into internet privacy, and today's sponsor is NordVPN. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish. I can't just to interject, I cannot express how much I wish we could just be like, and today's episode is sponsored by NordVPN. With NordVPN, I want to do that.
Dude, NordVPN, if you're listening, and I know you are, you Panama bastards. Look, I use your service. It's a great service. Fucking let us use you as a sponsor. Anyway, I've been really into internet privacy lately. So it's talking about my freedom-loving nature may seem a bit dampened, and that's because I'm realizing that we are all connected to like Apple products and Android products or PCs like Windows products. I think it's time that we just cut the wires, but not all the way, and go to Linux. Let's just all move over to Linux, open source, not a lot of viruses. Is open source, so if anybody's trying to like take your data and store it, everybody in the whole fucking world gets to see it. Look, guys, it'll be a lot of fun. So my horoscope is telling me to switch to Linux. I implore everybody else to do the same. I might be deleting my Facebook soon, and then Tasker's going to be in charge of all the Facebook shit for the podcast. Tasker, this is your first time you're hearing of this, so
yeah,
that's your new job.
Well, let me interject before you get a little too excited here. I know one of your favorite games, VR Chat, is not supported by Linux.
No, not VR Chat.
Literally, almost every game on Steam is not supported by Linux, or really, most things entirely are not supported by Linux.
I've sunk too many hours into VR Chat to not use it. Never mind. Forget everything I said.
The whole revamp, we're shelving it for now.
Fuck. God, that's so sad. Okay. But now you guys know. Now you know why that was scary to me, is because my freedom-loving nature is dampened. Okay. And Facebook is taking your data, and it's taking you by the balls. So I'm going to be getting off of it soon. This is a countdown, a 2-week countdown. I just decided, Tasker, in 2 weeks, you're in charge of the Facebook for the podcast. Right. Don't burn it down. Don't let people walk all over you.
Yeah, you're gonna go back to it one day when you decide to bring your Facebook back, and it's just gonna turn into like a Crunchyroll fan page or something like that. It
better fucking not be. If I go on, if I visit just like in general, right? I don't even have to have an account. If I go and visit our page and it's covered in anime, I'm quitting the podcast.
Sword Art Online Kirito stands.
I don't know what any of those are, and I better not find out what they are.
I mean, hey, man, we're all about expansion, right? We got to reach a broad audience.
But I'm not that desperate. I'm not like desperate enough to like reach out to the weebs. I know there's a huge weeb community.
Yep.
Most of the people on our Discord are a bunch of weebs, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying, like, I feel outnumbered and I feel threatened. So I'm becoming defensive. Okay, let me get onto my stars, because my stars are looking really hot. My sex is a 4 out of 5.
Nice.
My hustle's a 3 out of 5.
Good.
Vibe is a 4 out of 5.
Damn.
And my success is a 4 out of 5.
Oh, so maybe the VPN was a good idea. It seems to be affecting your mood.
They'll never catch me. They'll never fucking catch me.
Well, I'm glad with your being isolated into a random hidden part of the United States has really enhanced your need to increase your security.
Hey, buddy, look, the government's going to take all my shit. I might as well get a VPN. My VPN also comes with an Onion browser, so if I want to go on the dark web, you best believe I can do it. But I ain't going to do it, because that's how they get you.
Oh man, I just see every time we hear dark web, I think of the story where it's like some like girl was like browsing it, and suddenly her camera goes off, and then like a couple days later, she found the picture that was taken of her with like a price tag next to it.
Ooh, yeah, dude. See, that's why I don't go on the deep web, man, because I don't know how true these stories are, but I've heard enough of them to know that it could happen. It probably does happen. And but hey, you can get some good prices on shit on there. You can get some like really, really good prices on like credit cards that people use, and you could get good prices on hitmen. Yeah, it's a good place.
Yeah, all very positive stuff. Yes. Before we get into the episode, just quickly, I just want to drop. There's a game called Omori, and apparently had a 7-year development cycle. It's fucking great. And actually, Nick, you might actually like this game, even though I know you hate every indie game that is any game that's not 3D and anything that's remotely weebish.
Why do I have a GTX GeForce if I'm going to be playing a pixelated game? Riddle me that. That's the question I always ask people when they're like, "Oh, why didn't you play Undertale?" Well, because my graphics card doesn't like Undertale.
See, now this one's it's like a lot more. It feels more like Undertale feels like super like barely Super Nintendo, whereas this one actually feels like a Game Boy Advance Plus kind of deal. Like it's decently spooky and it's fun and I liked it. I just beat it the other day and it's taken everything to not talk about spoilers, but it's fantastic and y'all should play it and join the Discord and we could talk about it.
Yeah, join the Discord. Talk about that game. What's it called? Omaewa. What's it called?
Omori.
Talk about Omori with Tasker. I will interject with comedic lines throughout your conversations to dismantle where the conversation's going, just like I have right now.
Yeah. Will this be my first instance of abusing our platform? I don't think. Have I done that yet?
Yes.
Oh, did I? For what?
Oh, our platform as in the podcast or the Discord?
The podcast.
Okay, no, then that's it.
Okay, so this is my first time abusing it. Feels good, man.
Hey, I just told a bunch of people to switch to Linux and get NordVPN. So
you also encouraged them to autoerotic asphyxiate FAP. So that's impressive.
Hey, do it like Hollywood, man.
Oh my God. So that being said, I think that's a good enough intro.
Yeah, that was whack.
All right. Well, you should just take it away. Let's get into what we're talking about today, huh?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. That was my Stone Cold impersonation.
That's good. That's good. You're almost there, man. I think you could play him in the animated series.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back and Happy New Year. Hopefully it's not too shitty so far. Yes, we have talked extensively about unidentified flying objects, aka UFOs, in past episodes. Of course, this is Close Encounters of the fucking podcast kind.
Right.
However, we have never mentioned or talked about another type of unidentified aerial phenomenon before, and that would be unidentified submerged objects, aka USOs. Now, USO, let's call them USOs. USO, which are also the last names of the brothers from the WWE, the USO brothers.
Perfect.
It's perfect. So the USOs are just that, right? They're unidentified and most likely extraterrestrial crafts that are seen in, coming out of, or around water. And in this episode, we will be giving a description of the phenomenon, talking about specific cases, and go into theories as to what they could be. So without further delay, grab your goddamn scuba suits, kiss your family goodbye because we're going spelunking, baby. Let's dive right in.
Wow, nice pun. But yeah, the bright lights, the ocean's fucking scary already. And, the sky is really fun to look at. And, we're all worried about seeing those big green lights and shit and like moving balls of light. But you know what? This is just another thing to be scared about with the ocean. Like, keep in mind, this is terrifying already. And now, like I said, I don't know what the fuck we're going to get into. I don't read. So like, this will be, the ocean, I like going to the beach, but like the ocean itself, like deep ocean to me is one of the most terrifying places on the planet. So thank you for, yeah. So thank you for giving me more reasons to develop a phobia.
You're very welcome. That's what I'm here to do, is I'm here to scare people, but inform them. Right. I hate the ocean. I fucking hate deep water because it's not because of the things that I know are in there. I don't care about a shark. I will 1v1 a great white any day. It's the things that I don't know that are in the deep water that freak me out.
Oh, isn't there like million plus like undiscovered like species and stuff?
Oh, there's got to be. And I mentioned it later in the episode, but we have explored 5% of the ocean floors. 5%.
That does not fill me with any sort of confidence.
It's not good. It's not a good sign.
And we're swimming in it.
And everybody's just swimming, peeing in it, having a good time, thinking that nothing's going to happen to them.
So this will be interesting though, because USO and that's like something I think a lot of like newer folk to the alien thing is
the alien thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what the fuck am I supposed to call it? Do you want me to go back to calling it crackpot shit again?
UFOlogy would be fine.
Whatever, dude. A lot of people, when they start learning about aliens and shit, they always think it's, it's from space, it's in the sky. But a UFO is simply that, an unidentified flying object. That does not necessarily mean it is exclusive to extraterrestrials. It could just be some shit where it's anything that we don't know what it is. So a UFO could end up getting identified as something and no longer become a UFO. So that being said, a USO does not necessarily have to be alien, but it might be.
But it probably is.
Okay. Anyways.
You know where this episode's going. Everybody knows where this episode's going. Everybody knows my opinion without even having to get into the theories.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we are well aware. So grace us with your hypotheses.
Okay, well, let's start off by talking about what a USO is, but it's quite simple. Right? An unidentified submerged object is an unknown object that is seen or detected in, coming out of, going into, or around bodies of water. And this term was actually coined by a biologist named Ivan Sanderson in 1970. And it was in a book he wrote called Invisible Residents. Now, he was a biologist, but he was known for his fascination with unknown and paranormal phenomena.
Wow. Is this the first time you've actually brought a scientist in?
No, I've brought scientists in before. Look, I bring in as many credible sources as I can and witnesses. Look, I have a fascination with the unknown and paranormal phenomena, just like this guy. But the difference is, I'm not a biologist. I'm in the FBI. You know what I mean? The federal booby inspector.
Yeah. Oh, dude, actually, brief side story, but I remember I bought a prop hat. Apparently, it was from like NCIS or something from like one of those TV shows, and they had like an FBI hat from the show. CSI. It was from CSI. And I found it for like $3 at like Goodwill. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I want that. And I had to stop wearing because everyone thought it was a federal booty inspector hat. Yeah. Girls started like giving me looks and it sucked, man. I just thought it was cool.
Swiggity swooty, man. Coming for that booty.
Oh my God. But I was going to say it is nice to have a biologist because remember when we did Bermuda Triangle, the primary source is a guy who wrote grammar books and fiction.
Hey, look, just because they write fiction doesn't mean that they can't see things, man.
That's like what they said at base level Scientology. Like, oh man, just because he's a science fiction author doesn't mean that Xenu doesn't exist.
Whatever. Look, that's not whatever, man. There's a difference between fucking Xenu and then the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Day to day, huh? Is that the USO's yeah.
You have a stroke?
At this point, it might as well have been.
No, on a day-to-day basis, as a MUFON member, yes, I have to sift through these cases.
All right, because all these cases matter, and we do have to take them seriously.
We do, Tasker. God damn it. Okay, so sure, USOs don't have to be extraterrestrial in nature, like Tasker said, but in fact, we don't really know that they are. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say we don't know for sure that they're extraterrestrial. And that's because of the name unidentified, right? That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. They're just unidentified objects.
Yeah, for all we know, it just could be the fucking, what is it, Naboo, the Jar Jar Binks like place that's like under the water.
Yeah, I know all about Naboo. All right, I know all about Naboo.
Yeah, it's your favorite character from your favorite Star Wars trilogy, huh?
I love the prequels. Fucking fight me about it. You know what I mean?
Terrible movies. However,
the things you are going to hear in this episode are quite damning and fairly unexplainable. A lot like the common UFO that we're used to hearing about on this podcast.
Curious. Well, let's see.
So you see, the reason people believe that UFOs and USOs are associated with aliens is because of the fact that these objects are so goddamn unexplainable. Now, I just really hate it when people are like, yeah, because just because it's a UFO doesn't mean it's aliens, Tasker. In fact, the U stands for unidentified, so it could technically be anything.
Oh, wow. I don't know why that sounds so familiar.
It's because you just said it. And
Yeah.
to those people, Tasker, firstly, I say, get your mama's titty out of your mouth because I cannot understand you. And secondly, fight me, okay? I'm tired of hearing about this shit. I'm tired of that as an excuse with UFOs. They're afraid to look deeper.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Well, you have to you can't just look at everything and immediately like say it's alien. You know, you gotta, do your due diligence a little bit.
Look, I know the difference between an airplane. I know the difference between a helicopter. And I know the difference between an extraterrestrial craft that is not of this world with technology we don't have.
You were the one when, if you recall, when you were working that slave labor chef job, they like Elon Musk and SpaceX shot something off into the air, and there was like all this like weird, colorful, like bulbous shit. And you sent me a like 10-minute video from your phone of you like filming it and pointing, being like, that doesn't look like spacecraft to me. Doesn't look like that's a spaceship from us.
Because it wasn't. Riddle me this. Why, when I went back into the restaurant, there was a TV in the restaurant. So, of course, immediately after seeing it in the sky, I ran in and there was already like coverage. You know what I mean? There was already coverage on the news. That's a little too fast, dude. It was a planned media coverage to cover up the fact that they were letting a UFO leave the atmosphere.
You and your airtight theories, huh?
Airtight, dude. And yeah, I was really fucking excited that night, dude.
I think that was probably the happiest I think I'd ever seen you.
I was ecstatic. Me and my buddy were just like yelling at each other and smoking cigarettes and just like freaking out, and I almost thought about quitting my job right then and there.
Mm-hmm. Just run over to Area 51 and raid it.
Yeah. Before anybody else had the idea to, I was going to do it, man. I was going to find them aliens.
Yeah. Alas.
So like I said, guys, it's simple. USOs are not different from UFOs. The only difference here is the setting, but it's an interesting setting, and we'll get into the theories later. But like I said, it does not get so simple when we're looking into the theories, and that's where things start to diverge a little bit, right? But before we can get into the theories, we need context. We need recorded history to boost my credibility when I'm talking about these fucking subjects.
Mm-hmm.
And to achieve those goals, we will be going over some notable cases of USO sightings throughout time. So I want you to strap in, put your strap on, and we're going under the sea. All right?
All right. Let's see what you can grace us. Let's see what you can convince me of today.
Under the sea. Under the sea.
Ugh.
It gets stuck in your head.
It doesn't.
All right, guys, let's begin with a story from all the way back in June of 1947. Good year. Great year.
I have questions, but we'll go on.
I was there, man. It was beautiful, dude. It was beautiful, beautiful time.
It was after World War II, so
yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
For this story, wait, what?
We can whatever.
So for this story, we have a couple witnesses. We have Paulu Zammit and his unnamed friends. We don't get their names, as Paulu was the one who recorded the event and reported it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these guys were fishermen. Seamen, right?
Yeah, seamen. Yep.
Fishing about 20 miles south of Malta. That's a tiny island. Malta.
Where is Malta?
Malta is an island off of, I think it's either Greece or Italy in the Mediterranean Sea, but it's its own country.
I see. Okay, so it's far away.
Very far away. The men were smacking their nets against the water, trying to catch fish. Not a very subtle way to catch a fish, by the way. Yes, they were net fishermen, which is embarrassing.
And see, normally I would say like, oh, that's you're completely like undermining their process, but yeah, you were there, so what do I know?
I used to hang out in Malta all the time when I was there. Right after the war, I took my dame with me, and we used to go do the Charleston. I don't know.
Exposing yourself as an immortal on the air. That's pretty brave of you. You've really gotten ballsy since you got Nord, huh?
Yeah, dude, they'll never catch me. Although it is off for this recording. So, yikes. When they drifted, so they were trying to catch fish, but their boat, the motor wasn't on, so they were drifting a bit. And they came up to an object and they saw something that would totally harsh their fishing mellow. In the water, they spotted a black, large, circular, metallic object poking out of the water. Initially, they thought it was a submarine, as you would, and it's not unusual to see submarines after World War II, I suppose, except for the fact that this was in the Mediterranean Sea.
Sounds just like a cannonball.
It was large, circular, and also if I'm not a physicist, but I'm pretty sure cannonballs sink.
But it could have been hollow. I don't fucking know. It could
Who
be
makes
anything.
hollow? What are they making? Hollow point cannonballs now?
You know what, man? It literally could be anything. Like, especially if it was metal, dude. You know how much like shit just gets like blown up in the water and like drifts anywhere. I mean, dude, you know the stories about messages in a bottle. Like they could drift to God knows how long or how far. I mean,
if you would let me finish the story, you'll see how this is not a message in a bottle. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Anyway, as they drifted closer to the object, the idea that it was a submarine completely dissipated from their minds, and they started up their little boat engines ready to delta the fuck out of there. As their boat turned on, massive lights also turned on from the mysterious object in the sea next to them. It was blinding. And when the fishermen looked over at it, they spotted, quote, little men, unquote, running around what seemed to be the circular deck of some kind of craft. It was hard to get details of what they looked like because it was nighttime, but two things were for certain. They were very short, and they had little gadget-like belts around their waists. All three of them.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of detail to get after being blinded by lights.
Those are not, first off, no, that's the right amount of detail to get at night with blinding lights in your eyes. The fact that they were short and that they saw something hanging off of their waist, they didn't get any facial features. It would be suspicious if they got facial features, but they didn't.
I don't know. I think this is more Japanese experimental warcrafts.
Oh, so you're calling the Japanese short, huh? Is that what's going on here?
I'm just saying, you know, with that other thing we had where it was we suspected it was just like a Japanese like tested experimental craft because, you know, they comparatively speaking, like they tend to, you know, run a little shorter than most people. And in your weird panic horror, you'd see people shorter than you and you're like, aliens.
We'll get into a theory that's around what you're talking about right now and how ridiculous you sound
from
a ufologist's perspective.
Yeah, I'm sure from a ufologist standpoint, I sound like a complete bonkers basket case.
You sound like a gonk, all right?
Gonk droids are adorable, by the way.
I don't know what that is, man.
Yeah, it's from Star Wars.
Gonk?
The ones, yeah, aren't those gonk droids? The ones that are like the walking trash cans?
Oh, maybe. I just got it from Cyberpunk 2077.
So is that like an insult in that game?
Yeah, just calling somebody like an idiot, you know?
A gonk. Okay. Yeah, cool. All right. I'm not offended at all. So good, nice try.
Thank you. I'll just call you an asshole next time.
Yeah. Now you're speaking my language. All right.
I'm just trying to cuss less. So I've been replacing my verbiage.
Yeah, look at you go. Starting 2021 with a good bright and happy slant.
Was that a poke at my eyes?
I mean, it can be.
Jesus, man. First the short thing and then the eyes. Good Lord. You're worse than me today.
2021, new us, and I guess we just flipped roles.
Yeah, now I'm the one that has to keep you in line, you savage.
So you do the fame's getting to me now that we have our listenership did increase recently. So yeah, it's been going right to my head.
Yes, and we have a bunch of people listening from other countries. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I'm sure I've offended each and every one of your countries and yourselves and your cultures. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. And I hope you enjoy it.
Yep. I mean, we've come this far. I mean, we might as well keep going, huh?
Amen. So let me finish the story right after another minute of looking on in horror and shock. The fishermen saw these little guys enter into their craft, and then it quickly submerged into the ocean. Silently, I might add.
Another one of those where that just doesn't make any noise at all.
Very common. And we'll see that in another story tonight. It's a very, very common occurrence with unidentified extraterrestrial objects.
Yeah. Now, what's annoying about that is this took place in the late 40s. So every machine that we made noise. There was just that silent shit. That's more of a modern development. So that's very annoying for me to hear.
Yes. And yeah, because you're right. Everything back then sounded like a steampunk fantasy world. All right. There was like clinking and cogs and steam blowing out of whistles and shit. Nothing. This thing was completely silent. It was smooth. It was black. Right. You know what I mean?
I don't. But
I had a bunch of coffee before we recorded. All right.
Mm-hmm. Black coffee is kind of smooth if you brew it right.
I love coffee.
Same.
Now let's venture to 1966, which was a pretty far out of sight year, man. Like that was like a good year. I was there too, brother, and it was just like the peak, man.
Yeah, I'm sure it was very eye-opening for you in many ways, huh?
I took so much LSD that I don't think I'll ever walk straight again, man.
Or you're now an official what's that shit called? Did you get MK Ultra?
Probably. I've killed so many people.
Yep, but you don't even remember it, huh?
Nope.
Feels good. Good for you. Save the PTSD.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
And this case involved some pretty credible witnesses, let me tell you. I was proud of this one. Members of the U.S. military on board a submarine named the USS Tiru.
Tiru. Nice.
See, I pronounced that all good for you weebs out there.
Subs always before dubs.
This submarine was on a standard run from Pearl Harbor, rest in peace, to Seattle, Washington, when they had a pretty strange experience.
Sorry, it just made subs before dubs. Get it? Like submarine. Like
you shut the fuck up with your anime jokes, man.
Sorry. Oh, I cracked myself up.
The tables have turned. You're now practicing your stand-up routine on the podcast, and I'm not.
What happened? Was there some kind of like reverse in polarity on like the Earth or something like that did this?
I think we had some kind of Freaky Friday experience, dude. Nice.
That's interesting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Did you? Never mind. Let's go on.
No, I don't even want to know what you were going to say.
I didn't want to say it. So
good Lord. So it was a nice afternoon, smooth waters and no real rush. So they decided to cruise on the surface at about 10 knots. Okay. Yes, I am a seaman. I know what 10 knots are.
Mm-hmm. And they're not garlic knots. We'll tell you that.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, after a while of cruising, the port side lookout noticed something about 2 miles out and somewhat closing in on their location. Yeah, I was going to try and make a fancier word, but never mind.
We're still on intro to seamen.
Yes, I got an intro to seamen for you right here, buddy.
Yeah, which was surprisingly easy to find. It was free and also on the front page of Pornhub.
Yeah, it was super weird, but it was like some sissy hypno shit. That was weird, man.
But hey, convenient for us.
Yeah. The port side lookout couldn't muster up an explanation of what he was seeing to the OOD or the officer of the deck. Yes, I didn't have to look that up.
The OOD. And
he just told him that he told the OOD and the starboard lookout to look where he was looking to see for themselves. He just couldn't explain what he was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And as the men looked through their binoculars, they saw a metallic craft. It was massive, and they estimated it to be larger than a football field. This craft was moving through the clouds, downward, and eventually dove into the ocean. And once the portside lookout knew the others had seen it, and he wasn't crazy, he then told them that when he initially saw the craft, it had been coming out of the water and flew into the clouds first.
I don't know about that.
What? What do you not know about?
So basically, they see a giant football field pop out of the water, go back in, and then just like fly up into the sky.
So it first flew up into the sky when the portside lookout first saw it. It was flying out of the water into the sky, and then when everybody was over there, after a while, they saw it come back from the clouds and dive back into the water.
Sounds like hallucination to me.
Oh, so 3 guys, soon to be 5, by the way, are having a hallucination. All the same one, by the way. Don't give me that shared consciousness bullshit, Young. All right.
Yourself said this was the 60s. And also, too, being out in the ocean makes you a little crazy, I am told.
Yeah, it was the 60s. People were doing LSD and acid and weed and all kinds of shit. But first off, they were in the military. Can't do that. And second, even if they were, they're not all going to see the same thing.
I guess. Well, what else? What else? I'm skeptical.
All right. Well, all 3 men were dumbfounded, naturally, and couldn't believe what they were seeing. They were going to leave their post to write a report about the incident when they saw that the craft had again made its way out of the water and zipped back into the clouds. At the same time as this, the OOD got word from a sonar crew member below deck stating that they were getting a very strange echo from an object which held the same distance and bearing as the craft they had been watching. So boom, right there, something's not looking good. The OOD told the captain to meet him at the bridge and asked that a camera be brought as well. So the captain and the chief quartermaster came to the bridge to meet with the other 3 men with camera in hand. And all 5 men looking for this object eventually saw it again, and it flew down from beyond the clouds into the ocean yet again. And they got pictures. However,
Did they?
Yes, but
Yeah,
however,
that's what I was waiting for. Yeah, okay.
Fuck up. However, since this is a military endeavor, we will probably never get to see those pictures. You have to remember, that shit's sealed tight. And the captain told the other witnesses that they were never to speak about the incident again under any circumstances, as once the report was made, it would be considered classified.
So if it's so uptight and secret, how do we know about it right now? How is it that you were able to get this information?
Because one of the dudes ended up telling people after all these years.
Sounds to me like urban legend.
How?
Oh, how convenient that, like, you know, all this shit happens and the only thing we have to bank on is trust me, bro.
Yeah. It's like a lot of things in life. Science, the Bible, car insurance policies. It's all the same.
More or less, but mostly no. I'm not buying it.
I figured, it's weird. I didn't think that you'd buy it, but I will say it's credible witnesses from the military who reported this. And if there's anybody I would believe, it's not scientists, it's somebody in the military, because they don't take shit and they don't serve shit either. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if something weird happened, but you said he didn't come out about it until years later, right?
Because it's classified. Do you know what happens if you leak classified information in the military?
And you also know what trauma does to people, and also how maybe 6 years after the event happened, it might be not exactly a super accurate retelling.
If I saw something like that, I would remember it for the rest of my life. Detail to detail, dude. And what trauma? There's nothing traumatic about that. It's probably beautiful. It's probably like, whoa, dude, there's an alien zipping around in the water like a mile away from me right now.
Well, and probably the reason why they classified it is because the people at base were like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? This is bullshit. And they showed the pictures and it probably sucked. And they're like, okay, dude, we're just going to lock this. We can't have people like looking into this. This is ridiculous.
That's not why they classify information. They classify information that's damning. or can be a threat to national security. And this could be both.
Yeah. So maybe it was something that they were working on. Maybe it was a U.S. like experiment of some sorts, and they didn't want that to get out.
You keep bringing up this whole we're working on this shit, and I got to tell you, I can't wait to get into that, buddy. I can't wait to get into that, man. You are so living on the third dimension right now.
My fucking bad for being born and raised 3D, but we'll see where this goes.
I've given you opportunity after opportunity to increase your vibrations, and you don't listen to shit. You won't listen to me, man. I told you to start drinking a shot of lemon juice a day. Have you been doing that?
No.
Have you been showering?
No. Well, I did have those you know that brand that vitamin C's, like, but I've been doing like the little gummies of those.
Yeah, they put anthrax in that shit. Small doses, but enough to keep you grounded.
So I'm probably worse off than I've ever been.
Lemon juice, man. Organic, straight lemon juice shots once a day. Decalcify your fucking pineal gland. I've given you opportunities, man, and you refuse. So when you start crying about how you're on the third dimension, I don't want you crying to me because I don't have any sympathy anymore, dude.
Is it going to be like when the day comes, the great ascension, where finally you and like 12 other people like are chosen by the Pleiadians because you're the only ones who did this bullshit? Is that the point where I'm going to regret this?
Yeah, because the reason they're taking us off this Earth is because it's too late. Reptilians are too far into their agenda, and the Pleiadians are saving the ones that they think would be a benefit to the Galactic Federation.
Yeah, you and like 8 other neckbeards probably, huh?
I'm first off, buddy, I'm not a neckbeard. I shave my neck. Thank you very much.
See, that would be kind of fun to watch. Like, watch you guys get pulled out, like all like 6 of you.
Hey, look, you guys had chances. You all had your chances. I can think of a couple people who listen to this podcast who would probably join me up in the skies, who have opened their minds to this type of subject matter and are respectful to the Pleiadians and the Starseeds, even though I made a really offensive episode about them. It's fine, though. Starseeds are bullshit, all right? The Pleiadians are the real deal. You know what I mean? So you gotta take it seriously if you want to make it out of this whole reptilian rat race alive.
I'm sure. So yeah, we'll see how many followers we get on Team Nick, and if you guys will have the last laugh.
Look, I didn't mean to lecture you in the middle of an episode. I'm sorry, but man, I'm starting to worry about your immortal soul, and not in like a Jesus-y way.
Nah, dude, I technically sold my immortal soul for $20 back in high school. And if that doesn't say a lot about my personality, I don't know what does.
Well, then you screwed the pooch, man, because when I'm up there in the spaceships, dude, and I become a being of light, and you're down on Earth getting your dick eaten by a reptilian and also used as a sex slave at the same exact time, you're going to become an actual fleshlight for reptilians. While I'm up in the skies eating alien cake, aka booty, and just having a groovy time.
Well, yes, if that were the case, yes, I might regret it, but I'm hedging my bet on that. It's probably not going to happen.
Hey, to each their own, man. Look, I'm not saying I'm starting a cult, but I'm kind of starting a cult. So if anybody listening is interested, hop on the Discord, DM me. Let's talk about this. Let's get it worked out. I need to find my right-hand man and or woman. All right, I'm inclusive, but no transgenders. Let's move on.
Terrible way to end that, but and I know you didn't mean that.
I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
Thank you. You might have just saved us 5 listeners.
No, I love them. I love them. Look, guys, I keyed. Okay, I like the transgenders. They're a good, hardy people. And I like guys. I like girls. And I mean, I'm talking platonically, by the way. I'm saying, like, if I needed a right-hand man for my cult, I don't care if you identify as my coffee table. You can be whatever you want as long as you do a good job.
That's probably the most inclusive thing you've probably ever said. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I just had to clear the air, all right? It was a dumb joke. I've been watching too much Family Guy, and it's been rubbing off on me.
Well, no, and both of us, I know, have been going pretty hard on the whole, like, we're being repressed. Humor's being repressed. We can't laugh at anything anymore. So, yeah, you know, it slips out every now and again.
Yeah, because fight it. All right, this is not Tumblr. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind, and you know what you signed up for.
Safe space for people who don't like safe spaces.
That's a fucking good way to put it, bud.
That'll be our new tagline.
All right, on to the next story. This one is a case from Germany taking place on April 9th, 1970. Another groovy year.
Very groovy. Very kaleidoscopic. No, there's a tie-dye. That's what I was looking for.
Full of tie-dye, baby. Woo!
Nice.
And this was a strange occurrence for sure. It involves a single witness, a 65-year-old retired electrician named Max Kraus. He was walking along a road in a rural area back towards his home in Langenschirn. Jesus, those people, man, need to learn how to use vowels.
Well, it's crazy because I know in the German language, they words get strung together into, and that's why they have such huge words, you know, because it's like a combo of like a bunch of different little words.
Well,
and instead of using spaces like we do in English, they just jam it together.
Sounds about right, dude. They're in a rush all the time, you know. They got 6 billion problems, and words ain't one of them.
Christ. But that was then, and this is now.
So he was walking back to his home in that place we mentioned earlier. I refuse to say it again. After doing some shopping in Ufhofen, which is a place in South Germany, I learned.
Ah, exciting.
And this is where the strange encounter begins. Now, luckily, we have quoted accounts of that incident straight from the horse's mouth. So the story is as follows. And we do have listeners in Germany. I apologize ahead of time.
Great.
It was about 4 p.m., a disagreeable sort of afternoon, with an almost completely overcast sky. Just as I was leaving Ufhofen, I heard what seemed to be like 2 sound barriers banging, yes? So, not as sharp and hard as they usually are, but quite dull, as though muffled in cotton wool. I was walking along on the left side of the road in order to face the oncoming traffic. The wind, quite boisterous, was in the direction of 255 degrees and was catching me in the rear at an angle of...
Are you sure this is a story? Or is this a fan fiction?
I don't know. No, I'm sorry. It was rude. I did not mean to say it was gay. It was rude.
Nice.
And was catching me in the rear at an angle of about 15 degrees from the left, yeah. On the slightly sloping macadamized road to the right was water from the recent rain, which was flowing out from a field track. Suddenly, I can't say why, I turned around and was astonished to see what looked like a torn-off portion of a skeleton of a plant coming whirling along on the right-hand side of the road.
Skeleton of a plant?
Hey, man, that's what he said. Hey, this is translated from German. There's probably some mistranslations in here, okay?
Oh, fine. I'll let it slide. So it probably mean like a dead plant or something, right?
Something, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like a dead plant.
All right. Like tumbleweed.
Sure. Which is what happens when you smoke too much ganja.
Hey.
I waited for the wind to drive it into the ditch, but on the contrary, despite the boisterous crosswind, the something carried on its course straight ahead, close to the ground. It slowly overtook me on the right-hand side of the road, and I could now see that this was no plant. What at first glance had looked like the skeleton of a plant was in fact a transparent ball of some 40 centimeters wide, which had spokes inside of it. From a dark spherical nucleus with hazy edges, there came 8 radials or spokes, which, as viewed together from the center, all projected at an angle of 70 degrees to 75 degrees. This dude had a protractor on him 24/7.
Yeah, I was going to say all the technical this guy sounds like a big fucking nerd.
Probably kept it in a pocket protector. Was like people would drive by him on the road and just like purposefully like go into puddles to splash mud on him, you know?
Oh yeah, this probably all happened because he just got back from being swirlied and stuff. That's why he loves water so much, because he just kind of got used to it.
Fucking German nerd. The spokes tapered off towards the outer extremities, their tips extending to the perimeter of the globe. I don't know, man. Look, this is coming out of his mouth. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't read the entire thing. This could be some kind of fanfic.
It's very possible. It seems like that's where it's going. And then when the words hot caress start coming up, that's when we know we made it fucked up.
Seen from where I was, the thing was rotating on a vertical axis and anti-clockwise and was floating, indeed gliding along, rather than rolling, a mere hand's breadth from the ground. As the thing passed me, I increased my pace and stepped out after it. At the moment of the encounter, I was not frightened, merely astonished and curious. But I was incapable of doing anything whatsoever, such as picking up a stone or going over to the thing and giving it a kick with my foot. I was stopped from doing so and could only look on and observe.
So it froze him?
I don't know if it froze him or if he was just in shock. It's hard. I didn't get any. He didn't clarify that very well.
I see. Well, like we said, we can kind of chalk a lot of this up to mistranslation.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my damnedest.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to decipher it together.
Like friends.
Yeah, friendship is magic, as they say.
You shut the fuck up. I know where you're going with this, and I will not allow you to put Rainbow Dash in that bottle again.
Oh God. Everything I said just immediately just got flushed down the drain with that fucking fact you brought up. So thank you.
If you guys are curious, look up the My Little Pony cum jar. Okay.
It's a great way to spend your afternoon.
The thing may have rolled along in this way beside me for about 150 meters or so. Then it halted, did a right angle turn towards the little stream of water and stopped there. The rotation stopped too. What I now observed is beyond my power to comprehend. From the dark center of the ball there emerged, downwards, something resembling a hose pipe, which bent itself back and upwards like a U, and then writhed about sideways several times. In the bends that was nearest to the ball, there appeared a gleam like brightly glowing hot iron. The glowing color grew darker towards the more distant convolutions and was only visible on the outside or on the outward facing sides of each convolution of the hose pipe. The hose pipe started wriggling about like a worm, extending itself and went down to the ground.
Then he bent over and is that what's next?
Man, maybe. I don't know at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And went down to the ground. I am convinced that it reached into the water. The worm, quote unquote, remained there for a short while and then was drawn back in again. At the same time, the central part of the ball changed color throughout half of its radius, becoming milky like water just before it boils. Yeah.
I know we were joking, but I'm starting to really become convinced. Either this is some porn writing, or this dude 70s is just tripping nutsack and just wrote his experiences.
Dude, at this point, man, I don't know. We'll see how it finishes.
Yeah, we gotta see. We've come this far.
The outer shell of the ball now displayed a bluish tinge, somewhat like the ionized air to be seen around electrical high-tension generators, yeah. Then, the strange object slowly started its rotating, gliding movement again, passed across the road, quite close to me, to a point a pace or so into the field. And there it vanished, so absolutely silently, and at such lightning speed straight upwards into the sky that I was unable to follow it with my eyes. Yeah. By the way, I'm adding the yaws at the end. He did not write that.
That's not quoted verbatim.
One thing, however, that did strike me was that shortly before the occurrence, all the birds had flown off in the opposite direction. Never before have I seen a crow move its wings so fast. Next day, I made a search of the surroundings, but without finding anything remarkable. I also took a photograph of the section of the road in question. At the time of the experiences, I suffered no harmful effects in any respect. My wife dismisses my story as a piece of fantasy. Yeah, if the affair ever becomes known here locally, I suppose it will all be up with my reputation. I assure you that I have told the truth in every aspect. And that was the story of Max House and his weird USO drinking water and then shooting into the sky.
It's hard to have an opinion on that. That was weird. That was a very strange occurrence that I don't know how I feel about it.
For those of you who hated everything I just said because of the accent, first off, I'm sorry. Second, let me summarize it for you. Basically, this dude was walking down the street. He sees a UFO come down to the river. A hose comes out of the UFO, sinks that hose into the water for like a good few minutes. The hose retracts, and then it shoots up into the sky, completely silent and quickly.
So this one's a little bit of both of a UFO and USO.
Yes. There's something about water, man. There's something going on with water that UFOs like, and I'm not sure what it is yet.
Yeah, this one, it's like, yeah, I could try to explain it, but I just feel like it's more fun to explain it as if it were UFO, because I'm getting tired of my own arguments. But like, you know, what if it was just like a alien drone they just dropped down to grab samples?
It could very well be. How big did he say it was? Let me look here.
It's like it was small, right? It was like 20 centimeters.
Yeah. So you know what? It was weird looking. It might have been some kind of drone like object or something they send out to scout. Like you said, getting samples. But I don't know. There's something about water, Earth's water, that aliens just either seem to love or they seem to hate it. At least in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, that's half of what made Earth habitable in the first place is the water thing. And that was our big, like, that's usually the biggest difference between us and pretty much every other planet, that we were just in like the perfect conditions where a water that can sustain life, like, is able to exist. Like, so I could see that from an alien standpoint being pretty fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I love about this shit is there's so many answers. Only one of them's right. But how will we know what the right answer is, without actually being there, man? And that's why I need to see this in the flesh. I need to see some sexy alien drone come down with its hose and drop its worm into the water, I need to see it.
Man, being human is so fucking weird. If only we could just mind our business like everything else in the universe, but no, we have to like think about shit.
Yeah, I hate having a conscious thought.
Fucking sucks. I'm just still thinking about with aliens like coming by and being like, oh man, look at all these like monkeys that are just so mad that they can think.
Yeah, and that's why they don't hang out with us, man.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, people, let's get into one more case before talking about theories, just to really solidify the fact that these objects have some kind of weird water fetish. This last one is short but effective, and it's an eyewitness account. And it's a relatively recent one, too. The man is unnamed because he wanted to remain anonymous when doing the report.
Okay. All right. So far, seems legit.
I heard that contention in your voice.
Like I said, today I'm tired of being cranky and realistic. I'm actually embracing it a little bit, despite how sardonic it might be.
And I appreciate it, man. Honestly, I'm like the Grinch right now. My heart just grew 5 times bigger, and I think I'm having some kind of heart attack because of it.
It's possible because I'm starting to get lazy on my side of the arguments, and now I'm just going to start agreeing with everything.
That's fine. Hey, look, I mean, it's not fine because like you need to stand up for yourself, but I've been wanting you to agree with me on some kind of alien point for 54 episodes now.
Well, don't get too used to it because I think realistically I'm still on like a perma hangover for the next week. So maybe that's just, that's the part of it. Like I said, I lost like an ounce of gray matter from how much I drank on New Year's. So you know what? Maybe this is just the result of that, of my like kind of like half brain dead sense of self right now. And I think that says a lot about what I think about aliens.
whatever, man. I'll take it when I can get it. All right. So I'm just gonna assume you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart.
Did you almost have a heart attack right there?
Yeah, dude. What the hell was that?
See, it's weird. 2021, man. It's a weird fucking year so far.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, probably. Anyways.
So it was July 15th, 2012, and the witness was taking a break outside of his shop in Panama Beach, Florida. It was getting dark, and the shop would be closing soon. He was looking out on the horizon to the ocean when he saw something rise out of the ocean. He told one of his customers to look and see if they saw it as well, and they did. And after a very short period of time, about, 30 seconds to a minute, there were around 30 people looking at this object, awestruck. The object made no sound as it came out of the water, which is very typical, again, for UFO sightings, as we all know. He then went on to describe the object. It was round, had illuminated windows of some sort all around the middle of it, 2 red lights under the windows, and a very bright light at the bottom of the craft. He also noted that the lights on the object were not blinking, which is important because when you see blinking lights, remember, it's probably an airplane. I'm at least smart enough to know that.
Mm-hmm.
The craft slowly and silently made its way to the land, hovering there for somewhere between 7 to 10 minutes. The object then took a sharp turn to the right, flew very, very slowly in that direction for 3 to 4 minutes, and then poof, it was gone and out of sight within a matter of seconds, which is, again, something we commonly see in UFO sightings, the ability for it to disappear within seconds.
So it's crazy, though, how an alien aircraft being amphibious is not that's not super common, right?
It's a lot less common than regular UFO sightings are.
Mm-hmm. Because going underwater, that's if you're not from the planet Earth, that's a big risk you're taking. You don't know what the fuck's in there.
Exactly. So it has to be a very advanced species that is going into the water that knows what it's getting into.
So USO kind of gets a bad rep for being the less cool UFO, but in fact, if you're a USO, you probably have more balls than any of the UFOs.
You got more balls, and you're more versatile too. I mean, think about it. You can come in and out of the ocean, and basically the whole Earth is your playground at that point. Because, like we'll get into in a little bit, you can't really hide in the sky because people will see you. That's why we see a lot of UFOs. But you can hide in the ocean because we can barely go in the ocean ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're right. I think it's got more balls, and I think that USOs are more versatile in general.
Yeah, interesting. Because I was going through this thing back. Fucking USOs are so lame, but no, that's an interesting point. I mean, and also, free roam in the water and stuff, and because you don't really have to worry about fish reporting you to the FBI.
Exactly, unless Aquaman's down there. You know what I mean? Oh, I made a joke about DC.
Wow, everyone's favorite movie series that nobody watches.
Fucking terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, I heard that what is it, Justice League movie, which is supposed to be like the counter to Marvel's Avengers, was just like the biggest bust of the century.
Absolutely, dude, because you can't just have you can't have a Superman movie, and you can't have there wasn't even anything after that. You can't have a Superman movie, a Batman versus Superman movie, and then a collaboration movie with the whole team and introduce them in the same movie. It like Marvel took their time doing solo movie after solo movie, and then they did the Avengers, and it made sense.
Right.
DC fucked it up. They fucked it up bad. I don't want to get too into it, but I'm still pissed. I've never been a huge fan of DC superheroes anyways, because they're all kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But just the audacity to think that they could just, after their third cinematic movie, make a collaboration of the whole Justice League is pretentious and self-righteous and unjustified, and it's similar to Nazism.
Wow, that's quite an accusation there. But I imagine in your shoes, though, it feels accurate.
Yes, I just pissed me off. It pissed me off more than anything. Anyway, and I just don't get me started on the new Wonder Woman 1984 bullshit. Oh my god! Don't even get me started, dude. I will go on forever. I will ruin any relationship I've ever had with anybody who's been on Tumblr because it's gonna sound like I'm coming from a place of sexism, which it's not because I love women, but. That movie's terrible. Gal, whatever the fuck her name is, Gal Gadot cannot act. She should have stayed in the Israeli army, where she, you know what I mean? It just, okay, all right.
Yep. Almost lost your cool there.
You guys almost heard Nick get angry.
See, this is what happens when we talk about Aquaman. This is where it leads us.
Look, if Jason Momoa wasn't such a hunk, I would have been a lot more pissed about that movie. I'm still pissed about it, but I would have been a lot more pissed if it was some twink like Brad Pitt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jason Momoa is a fine man for sure.
Man, a lot of I want to apologize to the gay community today. I've been just saying a lot of shit.
Oh man, sorry. Oh, okay. We could cut like half of those laughs. That's just really fun.
I don't care. It kind of helped save me. So
yeah, I don't know why that's so funny. Well, you know, I'm sure 2021 is a year of forgiveness. We're hoping.
We're hoping, guys. Come on. Look at my cute face. How could you be mad at me, dude?
I can't see your cute face. It's a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go onto my Facebook and look at my cute face. How could you be mad at me?
Show off your new hair.
My hair's so long now. Oh, my God.
So long. Wow. Anyways, so was that it for the what is it? They were just at like a cafe and saw this alien thing?
Yep, that was it. It was a short and sweet, man. It was the 30 people who saw that one. That was pretty bonkers.
So up for conjecture. I don't know. I just wonder how many pieces of calamari were dropped on the floor that day. You know, when they saw the thing and they just, you know, couldn't keep it together.
Calamari?
Calamari, yeah, fried like squid.
No, I know what it is, but why are they eating calamari, dude? Is this one of your anime fantasies?
No, I don't know. I picture them being at a beach restaurant for some reason. Is that accurate, or is it like a lake?
No, I think it was like a beach, like a shop, like down on a. But you can picture whatever you want. He didn't give me a lot of details, so it could have been a restaurant for all I know.
Okay. I don't know, and maybe it's just because I found out I was allergic to fish back in like my sophomore year, and I don't know. Maybe that's just some repression coming out of I miss it. It's delicious,
dude. Calamari's pretty good.
Fucking love it. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. That and shrimp and dude, fucking what are those things? Bacon wrapped scallops. Fuck me. And lobster and crab. Holy fuck.
I'm so fucking hungry right now.
Glad to help. So we'll get you to Red Lobster soon, but we got to finish this out.
All right, let's do it. And then Red Lobster after.
Good.
Okay, well, now that we've talked about some water-loving USOs for a little background, let's get into what this could all mean, right? And the different theories on what USOs are. Now, Tasker, there's going to be some arguments here, I know. Okay, there's going to be, look, I know that you said you're going to kind of just lay back and take it today, but I think I have a feeling you're going to be, poking your little head up every once in a while. So just know that if you do that, I won't be mad. Okay.
I have high doubts, but let's give it a go.
Okay, well, let's get the most improbable option out of the way. That these USOs are submarines and people seeing them come in and out of the water are delusional or their minds are playing tricks on them. Tasker. I know it sounds ridiculous, but this excuse has been tossed around a bit by skeptics who will cling on to anything to ruin something beautiful. Tasker.
Oh, yeah, just like how y'all crazy folk will hang on to anything to hold on, where the only truth you'll accept is the truth that you're right, like the Trump administration.
Don't you dare talk about Trump in any negative way. I can't even say that with a straight face.
That's where you draw the line, huh?
Yeah, buddy. Don't tread on me.
You've been hearing about those calls he did to like Georgia, basically like essentially almost begging them to like turn the election in his favor.
I'm not surprised. Hey,
Yep.
hashtag. What's that hashtag going around right now? It's it's something about hashtag stop the steal.
Yeah.
Fucking dumbasses.
Oh man, it warms my heart that he's leaving office with the reputation of begging officials and shitting his pants.
Yeah, sounds about right, man. I wouldn't have had it any other way.
I said it was all the stimulants. It affects your bowel movements.
But when Biden leaves office, he'll be shitting his pants because he's too old to control his sphincter.
A fate that we are all destined for someday, but that does not necessarily always affect your ability to lead.
Not all the time, but my God, he's old and he touches little children. All right.
Like every politician, but
disgusting. Anyway,
yes.
Even using the argument of water reflection causing the craft to be seen rising out of the water doesn't explain the fact that the objects are often seen flying very high in the sky, even into the clouds. Reflection from water can't do that.
What's that shit called when it's really, really hot outside? Mirage.
It's not a mirage. It's you cannot have a mirage or something like that.
Yeah, and how hydrated were these people? Were they dehydrated? That could also, if it was hot and they were dehydrated, that might affect it.
These aren't deserted people on an island. These are people who probably are at a decent place in their lives and aren't dehydrated.
The first story was literally on an island.
It's a country, Tasker. It's a country that has water.
Island country. It's the same thing. You could get dehydrated and get too hot, and you could see mirages and shit.
Who's the offensive one now? Just because Malta is a small island, which is its own country, you think that it's a third world country that doesn't have any clean fucking water?
I did not say that. They are a country and an island, and that's kind of what happens when you live on an island. I mean, you would know for your fucking Hawaiian background.
Yeah, but we have like bottled water there. We have like working filtrated water. You know, it's not like we're drinking seawater. We have to run down to the beach every time we're thirsty.
Just because it's available doesn't mean people are drinking it.
Then that's their bad, right? What are you talking about? What are you
telling them to drink their goddamn water so they can see things straight and stop making up all these fucking stories so then we have to talk about it.
They're not dehydrated. They're not seeing things. It's not a mirage. This isn't the Sahara Desert. All right, this isn't a cartoon where they see an oasis in the distance. These are people who have access to water and are hydrated enough to know what's real and what's not real. To hallucinate from dehydration, you have to have been stranded for like 2 days.
Well, and also too, maybe you maybe weren't too far off. Maybe they did run to the water and they drank a little too much salt water. I hear that can affect, and that's all salt. Fuck, man, that'll dehydrate you like crazy, really quick. That's why you don't drink it when you're stranded.
Then who the fuck is drinking salt water if they have bottled water? Is that their fetish?
I have seen people do some stupid shit before. I would not put it past them.
Just because they were idiots using nets to fish doesn't mean they were dumb enough to drink salt water.
I don't know. There's too many factors that we don't have information on. So it's hard for me to say for certain. But yeah, I don't know. Could be a lot of those.
Okay, well, I'm glad we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I suppose the submarine argument could be made for the first story, like Tasker said, but unless it was a random circular submarine with bright lights run by a tool belt wearing midget in the Mediterranean Sea, I don't see how this is a viable argument. It was not a submarine.
It's got to be a submarine.
It was not a submarine. There's no way.
I can imagine, what if there's other sounds that were drowning it out and it was just like, oh, it was like it made no sound at all, but it probably was.
How? There was no other sounds 20 miles into sea.
You're right out in of course there's sounds in the sea. You got ocean waves and shit. You got birds. It's very possible the crashing and shit of all the weight. You've never been out there. You don't know.
I've been to sea.
Right. Have you?
You ever heard of The Old Man in the Sea?
Oh, yeah?
I was in that book.
Oh, that's who they based it off of? Your shanty tales at the bar?
Dude, don't even start talking about shanties. I'll start singing them right now.
You better fucking not.
I'm surprised I didn't open with that, dude. This is a whole episode about USOs, and I'm not singing sea shanties. I'm ending with sea shanties. All right?
Well, I'm glad you're warming up your vocal cords and your enunciation, but no, that's not why we're here. No, this is dumb.
Farewell and adieu to you, Spanish ladies.
The fact that you actually have these memorized is appalling.
Farewell and adieu to you, ladies of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
For we've received orders for to sail for old England. But we hope very soon we shall see you again. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly, it's 35 leagues. All right.
I'm not going to let you force the meme on it. We're not going to be associated with sea shanties just because you want it.
I fucking love them.
Ugh.
All right. Next theory. And this is one that really pisses me off. Tasker, you've mentioned this twice in this episode so far, so I got words. All right, I got words to pick with you.
I got ears to hear them, so let's go.
These are experimental crafts made by the government, which are being tested.
Yep. That seems most. If I'm even going to entertain the idea, especially with the submarine from the first one, I would say this is most plausible. That it's probably just some, and that's why they're trying to cover it up, and that's why like they made such a big deal about it. Not because it was something that they don't want us, beyond us, but it's because it's something embarrassing they're trying to cover up.
You sound like what I picture a kid at kindergarten's first day sounds like when he's trying to like learn something. That's what you sound like right now.
Really, no.
Look, this has been a theory tossed around to explain regular UFOs as well. You've done this before. And it makes sense on paper, I'll admit it. But looking deeper and looking at the nuances, you'll see it doesn't hold up too well. All right, Tasker?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the biggest issue here is that we don't have that kind of technology yet. I mean, for God's sake, we can barely keep helicopters and planes from falling out of the sky. Rip, Kobe, and never forget, respectively.
Well, that's kind of inaccurate. Most aircraft stay in the sky without a problem. And actually, you're more likely to die on your drive to the grocery store than you are to die in an airplane.
That may be true. It may be fairly safe to fly in an airplane.
Pretty safe.
But, I will say, until we have the technology to make sure it never happens, I don't believe we have the technology to go in and out of the ocean like the things that we've been seeing in these stories and in these cases.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like we get a lot of press coverage on like airplane crashes and stuff because it barely ever happens. So when it does, it's like, whoa, whoa, like everyone fucking jumps on it because it's everyone's biggest fear. But like, I don't know. But also, dude, it's fucking Corona. Y'all shouldn't be going on airplanes anyways.
Yeah, guys, I know the tickets to Italy are $30, but you know what? It's not worth it because, like, what are you going to do in Italy? What are you going to do there? You're going to eat pizza? All the pizza places are closed.
Very true. I was going to say, I know the borders are closed, but
good. Keep them closed.
Fuck. It's still like $800, $700 to fly to Japan.
You fucking weeaboo.
Hey man, I'm just trying to, just plan ahead for my future.
Okay, well, thinking that even the secret government has this kind of technology to create something like a USO is absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the argument can be made that perhaps the government has taken wreckage from crashed UFOs or USOs to try to recreate or to create their own through reverse engineering. But the simple fact that our minds can't comprehend the machinery of these beings, let alone the advanced fuel sources used to power the crafts, kind of puts a damper on that.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Exactly. And that's exactly my point, is they can't comprehend any of this shit. Some of these crafts are powered by antimatter. Some of them are fueled by crystals native to the being's home planet. And some are powered by a form of magnetism, which we have no experience with. And all these fuel sources are too difficult to understand in order to use them ourselves. Do you need an example?
Sure.
Okay, well, for instance, you really think that we can use alien crystals to power something we have built if the same people, the government, thinks that using crystals and magic doesn't work on Earth? That's a fucking ridiculous notion.
Well, yeah, you're saying that alien ships are being powered by lightsaber crystals.
Not lightsaber crystals. First off, those are called kyber crystals.
Why? Whatever.
Hey, look, I could talk about Star Wars if you could talk about your high school anime shit, all right?
Which I barely can.
But I let you do it sometimes.
Sometimes. All right, fine.
And I let you have a whole Discord channel dedicated to anime.
That's true. That has not been deleted yet, so I appreciate it.
So it's ridiculous to me to think that the government, who either thinks or is hiding the fact that crystals can be used to manipulate energy around us for magical purposes, right?
Right.
Thinks that they can actually utilize crystals to power something as powerful as a UFO. So the fact that they're trying to reverse engineer or work on their own UFOs using these power sources is a dumb argument, in my opinion.
Sure. So fuel argument, blah, blah, blah. I'm still not convinced. You got anything else?
Okay, yes. I have another theory. And now it's kind of 2-in-1 with this theory. This is the last one. This is the most plausible of the theories, in my opinion. And everybody knows this is where this was going, okay?
Oh, jeez.
Both have to do with underwater shenanigans, both of these theories, and both require you to forget everything I said in the last section, kind of. Remember, these are theories. I'm not sticking with one of them, but I will tell you which one I think is the most probable.
Okay.
The first is a theory similar to that of the fact that there are underground bases all over the world, like in Dulce, New Mexico, for instance.
Okay.
In these bases, right? Like I think we could all sit here and agree there are underground bases. We could probably disagree on what's going on in the bases and who runs them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can all agree that there are bases, right?
Oh, yeah. Regardless of what you think, the government's obviously hiding shit from us. And I wouldn't put it past them to pull something like that.
Precisely. So the difference here is that these are covert underwater bases, and the USOs that are seen coming in and out of the water are simply transports to and from these bases.
That's kind of cool.
It's pretty dope, right? Now, this is an umbrella theory that has two sub-theories, I'll call them. But they're similar because they both include the fact that these USOs are just ways to get to and from the bases. However, the theories diverge at this point, so let's talk about the first one. Now, the first one is that these bases are run by both humans and extraterrestrials like Dulce. Why?
So factually stated, huh?
Oh, well, it's because it's true. I mean, there's Phil Schneider. He told us everything.
Sure.
Now, we've talked about collaborations between humans and aliens in the past, and this is no different. Just the setting. Now, perhaps there are underwater bases in which aliens and humans conduct experiments. And what does this have to do with USOs? Well, stupid. Of course, they need a way in and out of these bases because, like I said in the last one, we don't have the technology to do it ourselves. We need basically a taxi service to get to and from these underwater bases.
But wasn't one of the things like, oh, okay, well, I guess the submarine from the first one, that could make sense. But why were they bobbing around that area? It didn't even seem like they were doing anything. They just got off their tracks.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't see. That's the thing is you don't know what they're doing. I can't make look. I only speak facts. I only speak the truth. So when you ask me a question like that, I'm not gonna make up some dumb shit. You know,
like always, huh?
Like, hey, look, man, this is all fact. You can believe it, or you could be wrong and not believe it. But it's up to you. The choice is yours.
True. We can't take your freedom away.
Damn straight, dude. Do not tread on me.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So, like I said, essentially, we're being taxied around by aliens throughout the Earth's oceans in order to do work with said aliens in the most covert of locations. That's the first part of this theory. The second version of this theory is basically the same thing, but take us humans out of the equation. And this means that there are extraterrestrials with secret bases literally right under our noses in our oceans. Don't give me that look.
Mhm.
Now,
Okay.
look, believe it or not, Tasker, this is the perfect place to conduct unethical experiments on humans, because how the hell are we going to find them in the ocean?
Well, yeah.
95% of our ocean floors have not even been explored yet. You think that they're going to be looking over their shoulder all the time under there? I think that's
Oh, yeah.
the playing ground for them.
In terms of like all your alien bullshit, I gotta say that methodology does make the most sense if they existed. So if I were them and I knew anything about Earth, I would be like, oh fuck yeah, let's build our own fucking Rapture from Bioshock because we could do whatever the hell we want. But the only incorrect implication here is the alien part.
You were so close to being nice. You were so close to, like, learning something that's outside of your little box, right? Your little Japanese subtitled box. You're so close. But then you just had to throw it out there, that if they existed part, right?
If they existed, yep.
Oh my
You can't have your cake and eat it too, my friend.
I can have my cake and eat it too, because what am I going to do with the cake? What am I going to do with the cake if I don't eat it? Smear it on my face? It's not a wedding.
No. I don't know what you do in your spare time.
Just put it down my pants and then I eat it.
Yeah. Like any reasonable human who has the truth would.
So we allegedly know more about the surface of the moon and Mars than we do our own oceans, assuming that we've been to those places. I don't know for sure. As you guys know my stance on the whole moon thing. That's what they say when comparing how much we know about the ocean to how much we know about outer space. It seems like we know more about outer space than we do the ocean.
And wasn't there also with that Israeli person that got the commander or whatever, who was saying that we're already on Mars and that we're like hanging out with aliens there?
That there's bases and stuff there. Yeah. So, I mean, we could be fucked either way. Whether we look in the ocean or whether we look in space, there are aliens. And that's just a fact that we have to live with. I mean, there is some kind of disclosure coming.
Hopefully. I mean, I don't know. I'll have the news on if it happens, for sure.
If you look, if like I think I said this last episode, if we get disclosure this year, I'm gonna quit my job. No, I didn't say this on the episode, but I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna go out into the woods and try to make contact with aliens through meditation. So hopefully they can take me with them.
You think because remember the world was supposed to end in 2012 and that didn't happen. 2021 is kind of an anagram of 2012. You think maybe that's a sign for something?
I think that look, I don't want to disparage the Mayans. They probably didn't know a lot about reading and writing and numbers and stuff. I have a feeling they kind of scrambled it on accident. Maybe a little bit of this. Maybe their chief was dyslexic. I don't know. I think that December. Look, the cult I'm making, right? This cult that I was talking about that I want people to join.
Yeah.
I am now here declaring December 21st, 2021 will be the end of the world, but not due to I'm not Jesus. I'm not saying I'm the Messiah. I'm a messenger for different alien species who will be helping those who believe off of the earth before the reptilians come up out of their hidey holes and take over the world. So if you guys want to save yourselves, please join my cult.
Well, regardless of your theory, what if, and this is just like speculation, I'm knocking on wood here, but like COVID's been like spiking like fucking crazy lately, and here we are almost a year in, and you remember when we first had to transition to remote recording?
I do remember that fondly.
Yeah, now it's how we do every episode. But it would be nuts because right now I know there's a more like contagious strain going around. It's just getting worse. And I know we have a vaccine, but like, what if we get vaccinated and it's all cool and then it just like doesn't work? Or like, it could get, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not to, I mean, we did have a bum prediction about the second Civil War starting. So our track record isn't great, which is good because those are terrible things. But COVID could get some steam to be a real, we had an episode on this, an existential threat.
Yep. And that's why I'm saying, guys, look, join now. All you have to do to join my cult is give over all of your earthly possessions to me, including your
every single one.
finances, your dogs, they will be used as food. I apologize, but we will be living in the woods. So yeah, join. I will save you guys from the reptilian overlords and the vaccine that they have put out to nullify you as a species.
How exciting and what's the word? Oh fuck. Enticing.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you want to be scammed, go ahead and go through it. But you know, live your best life, I guess.
It's not a scam.
That's what every scammer would say.
Look, would it be a scam if I called it Jonestown 2 Electric Boogaloo? No, it's enticing. All right.
It won't be a scam if it actually happens. And guess what? In Jonestown, it didn't happen. They all just died needlessly.
I don't know where their souls went. Could have worked.
I don't think it did. But you know what? That's all for conjecture. That's the crazy thing about the human soul is, we just don't know because nobody's successfully been able to, catch one.
Yeah, except for me.
Yeah. Nice try advertising more.
All right. So look, we've talked about these two sub-theories. One is that we're working with the aliens underwater. And the second one is that it's just the aliens fucking our shit up underwater. But these two theories converge again when talking about what exactly goes on at these secret underwater bases. Now, like I mentioned before, there are definitely unethical experiments happening both to humans and animals, regardless of which theory you go with. There have even been reports of humans being spliced and combined with animals on a molecular level, creating animal-human hybrids, which is basically, when I said that, every furry wolf's ear just perked up, thinking that it was finally real. Anthropomorphic animals that I can fuck.
And even if the anthropomorphic animal people happened, I wouldn't trust it.
That's the end of the section, by the way, but let me roast you now. You are a weeaboo, right?
By definition, yeah.
Okay. You're an otaku, right? You prefer to be called an otaku?
I don't prefer to be called an otaku.
Then let me ask you this. If aliens and or humans were working on gene splicing, making hybrid animal humans at underwater bases, and they created a cat girl. Your eyes just widened, so I know the answer. Would you then believe that aliens are real if they created something tangible like that?
Well, it doesn't have to be a cat girl to be tangible, but see, like I said, like all things in the world, they sound great in theory, but if we're talking about genetically splicing cat parts onto a girl, that would be, like I said, it's fun in theory, but that shit I bet could get really annoying real quick. They probably would be kind of more animalistic, so that means they might have like, maybe lower functioning brains, and maybe that's part of it, which is a really scary prospect because that possibly opens up a very scary black market like kind of like business right there. But like, I don't know, there was one of those, I remember somebody broke it down like, okay guys, if there actually was like a genetic like cat girl made, it probably would be fucking terrible. And we don't know what it's going to do to people, and we should not subject each other to that kind of questioning,
All that just to dance around the fact that you'd be ecstatic.
Hey man, I may be a fan of it, but I believe 2D should stay 2D.
Spoken like a true artist and a true being of the third dimension.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody, that was it for USOs, for unidentified submerged objects, a subject that fascinates me because it's UFOs with water.
Mm-hmm. Yep, an undersea dream for all you guys to take a heavy bite out of, and hopefully this does better than the Kraken episode.
Hey man, I like the Kraken, all right? Just because it's all right.
It's underrated. But I can't blame you guys, and it's nobody's fault. It's just, just the way things are sometimes.
It's my poor writing skills.
Or the fact that nobody's been on a fucking boat since 1930 or whatever.
That's a good point. People stopped going on boats after the Titanic real quick, so.
Oh yeah, they see crack and they're like, "Oh fuck, I should go get dinner." That reminds me of squid.
I'm hungry. All right. That was fun, guys. Thank you for listening to that episode. It was near and dear to my heart. And just wanted to say, I know it's a new year. I know the new year hasn't started off awesome for all of us, but hopefully it gets better. And if it doesn't get better, we'll always be here to tell you racist jokes to make you feel better.
Yep, we'll be miserable right next to you. So, you know what? What's better than that? That's the true human spirit at work. And of course, we had to start off the new year with aliens.
We had to. And we had to talk about a serious subject. I want to get all of these basic episodes out of the way so in the future when I finally have the time to actually read full books for episodes. Guys, if you think the episodes are long now, yes, we get off topic a lot, that's fine. But if you think episodes are long now, just wait till your boy starts reading books to do his research and we go in depth on these types of things. Oh my God, you guys are gonna unsubscribe so fast. It's gonna be so dry.
Yep, we got to watch our charts plummet, and it will be it'll be interesting for all of us. So until we get there, thank you all for listening. We always appreciate you having here and sticking through us through the new year. And we're hoping this will be just as great of a year as it was last year for the show. As I said before, we've had like an immense increase in listenership recently, which has been fucking fantastic. We are so happy to have you here, and we're glad that you can go through this journey no matter who you agree with, whether it's me or Nick or neither of us. Who knows?
Yes, and with a new year comes new issues with Count Chocula.
It's very fucking true. Oh my God. It's just, it's hard to say because it feels like whenever the earth, whenever it makes its full rotation around the sun, that's a sign of new things to come. It's a sign of a fresh opening. So we've been doing some studies about the magnetism and how it affects the polarity of the planet and how Count Chocula may have actually tapped into that somehow.
Yes, it's kind of freaky because now he's getting on a global, almost universal level of power.
Yeah,
it's frightening.
Oh, we didn't bring it up earlier, but like half the reason why you got the VPN, well, actually, because I know it got delayed because you kept getting hacked every single time that you would install it. But that's why you finally got it up and running today.
It took me 3 days to get my VPN going because I knew as a fact that Count Chocula and his representatives were trying to get into my computer to either delete or steal the research we've already done, which is like 17 gigabytes or some ridiculous amount of storage on a Google Doc. Okay.
Right.
I had to get this VPN so I can keep his grubby chocolatey fingers out of my computer. And so far it's working. But if I have been noticing some drops in my VPN, and I have a kill switch now, luckily on my laptop. So if anything, if I lose connection to my VPN, everything shuts, like all my internet connection shuts down, which is really good. But I think he's powerful enough now to get past that as that firewall. I think I might have to actually turn on the Onion browser on VPN so I can just constantly stay in Onion.
Yeah. I mean, you got to take whatever precautions you can. Cause I do know too, since he's been kind of doing like seismic wave studies and stuff that he managed to like localize a teeny earthquakes to, cause I think you told me it's like what you like spilled rice the other day and then he earthquaked it around to arrange it into the words, "Where's the hard drive?"
Dude, that freaked me out.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Because it was in cursive too, which really freaked me out.
It was actually impressive. And I mean, as soon as Nick went for the photo evidence, suddenly all his text shut down. And then when everything turned back on, it was back to normal.
Yeah. So stay vigilant, get a VPN. If you guys have been doing your own research on Count Chocula, for the love of Christ, get a VPN.
Yep. Got to be safe, wrap it up, keep it secure from any threats from outside. But till then, thank you again for listening. We are again on iTunes. If you could hit us with a 5-star rate and review, that would really help us out. Continue this upward trend we've been seeing, which has been very awesome and very exciting. Spotify, you could click that follow button if you want to get the little ding whenever we update. It's every Wednesday. That's per usual, and we see no change in the near future for that. Instagram is at CEOTPK, our YouTube channel, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. You will find all of our episodes uploaded with a very fancy background. Twitter is at CEOTPK1. You can email us at ceotpk1@gmail.com. Our Discord is discord.gg/lowercase b, number 6, capital C, capital T, number 5, capital M, capital X. For all the links above, you can just check us out on Facebook. We have everything clickable there. Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind is all you got to search, and we will be right there waiting.
Again, I hate to bring up YouTube, but I'm going to keep bringing it up until we have enough. Look, I can subscribe. I can live stream right now, but it won't let me live stream mobily. I have to like if I wanted to live stream, I have to be like strapped to my desk or on a laptop or something. My laptop doesn't have a great camera. I want to be able to do it on my phone. But in order to live stream mobily and bug all of you when I'm drunk on the weekends, we need 1,000 subscribers. I looked into it. 1,000. That's a lot of subscribers.
Wow.
So come on, guys. Even if you don't listen to us on YouTube, just go and hit that subscribe button so you can see me drunkenly take a bath with wine on Friday nights.
Yeah, it's a sight to behold. Nick sent me some test footage before, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, guys. So that's it from me. That's my closer right there. YouTube, subscribe, please.
Yes. Oh, of course, anything helps, and we much appreciate it. I just realized we haven't been bringing up the coffee lately, have we?
Nope, it's not on the links.
So you can donate to us if you want. Coffee ko/fi.com/ceotpk. Not necessary. Honestly, I'd almost say a follow would probably be more appreciated. But yeah, you do you.
You do you. Make sure you wear a condom before you do you. And look, guys, whether you think that USOs are government-made contraptions, which is bullshit, or an actual extraterrestrial craft, the truth is out there.
Yeah, all submarines, all pretty obvious. And make sure to stay hydrated. Otherwise, you're going to tell a story that we're going to have to talk about. So, yeah, it's not. Improbable option out of... Okay, let me fucking redo that. I'm so hungry, man.